By early 1943, the Bielski brothers had more than 300 Jewish refugees under their watch. As the group expanded, concealing their location became increasingly difficult. In mid-February, the Bielskis' worst nightmare became reality.
Some guys went out and they want, to bring some food. And then there was a cow. They decided they're going to take a cow, bring a whole cow to the base. And they made a mistake too, because they were carrying the cow and the blood was dripping. And the Germans, they saw the blood. Then they came to our base where we were. It was messy.
ואז על המשמר עמד אופנהיים. הם היו לבושים עם חלוקים לבנים כדי שלא לראות אותם. והם ירו באופנהיים.
ואנחנו התפזרנו כולנו בתוך היער, ברחנו לכל הכיוונים.
Then we came to a field, machine gun opened up on us. And the bullets were coming so close above my head, I could see the pine needles were dropping over our head.
We were running from one place to another. By the time we get it again together, all of us, a lot of people got killed.
The Germans destroyed the camp and retreated. The surviving members of the Bielski group relocated to the Butskevich forest, 7 miles west of Novogrudek. The attack and loss only strengthened the brothers' resolve. Armed Bielski fighters under Zus's command and often in collaboration with Russian partisans redoubled their efforts to sabotage the enemy.
They were going always in places where they heard that a train is coming. So they used to take the grenades and go and blow up the train. And all the Germans with the ammunitions, with the everything, were destroyed and they ran away.
Every mission that we win is 90% suicide. It's miracles every time that you come back.
Saul Lapidus was a Jew who belonged to a Russian partisan unit that occupied the same forest territory as the Bielskis. To him, the Bielski unit was indispensable.
They knew every tree. Without Bielskis partisans, you couldn't go no place because you would get lost.
Soon, the Bielskis and their Russian allies launched what was to become their largest joint venture, an operation known as the War on the Rails. Dozens of Bielski armed fighters traveled more than 40 miles, dismantling railroad tracks and cutting off Germany's supply line to the front.
Bielski had for 51 hours stopped the trains going to the front line. And wartime, 51 hours to stop trains over a period of time is an enormous thing.
The Nazis offered a reward for Tuvia Bielski's capture, 100,000 marks, dead or alive. Frustrated by the success of the resistance movement, in July of 1943, the Germans began Operation Hermann, a massive effort to liquidate the partisans. 52,000 German troops were dispatched to the forest. The Bielskis were forced to flee deeper into the woods and trek through a treacherous swamp.
Imagine at night being tired with the swamp up to your chest, children on your shoulders, and tying yourself to a tree so that you can get some sleep and not drown.
בינתיים שם לא רחוק הייתה עמדה של הגרמנים, והם בלי סוף ירו. הם ראו, לא ראו, הם ירו.
And the bullets, how they flying over your head from the cannons, like birds.
Miraculously, nobody in the Bielski group was killed. When the Nazis finally left the area, the Bielski partisans journeyed 75 miles west of Minsk to a forest known as the Nalibuki Pusha. There, construction began on a permanent base. It would come to be known as Jerusalem in the Woods. Having evaded the Nazis for more than 2 years, in the fall of 1943, Tuvia, Zus, and Asoil Bielski along with the nearly 800 Jews they had rescued so far, began construction on a new base.
אז כשהיינו ביערות נליבוקי, בנינו עיר שאנחנו, בינינו, קראנו לזה ירושלים ביערות.
They lived in Zimlankas, in bunkers. They loved it. It was beautiful. They used to decorate it with leaves, fresh leaves, green leaves.
Inside there was a little stove always burning.
Then you walk inside and there were 20 people on one row and 20 people on the other row. And when we went to sleep, that was if you got up, you had to go to the bathroom outside. You lost your space. You had to wake everybody up, move over. You took away my spot.
Even more impressive than the living quarters were the camp's elaborate workshops.
Shoemaker, a dressmaker, a jacket maker, fixing rifles, fixing anything. Come in the evening, they'll put on a show for you.
The camp also included a doctor and a schoolhouse for children. To help prevent the risk of typhus outbreaks, one bunker was converted into a bathhouse, complete with steam. For those wishing to observe Jewish holidays, a synagogue was constructed. On one such holiday, Raya Kaplinsky, the base's secretary, was summoned to the kitchen by a family friend.
אז אני באתי אליה, היא יושבת על יד הגחלים והיא עושה מצות. והיא אומרת לי, ריילה, היום זה חג, היום זה פסח. אמנם אנחנו לא יכולים לאכול את המצות כמו שהיהודים אוכלים בכל המקומות, אבל לזכר, אני רוצה שתטעמי מצה אחת. אני אגיד לכם, שטעם של המצה הזו, עד היום אני זוכרת.
In February of 1944, the Russians requested a group of Bielski men to help clear a landing strip for Russian supply planes.
This operation was done by Bielski's partisans. They made a field, they took care on the field.
Landing was a little more difficult. I used to drop the supplies by parachute. So at the end, it was very, very well organized.
Now, they have communication, we have radio, we have everything. And it became an army. We had there more than 35,000 partisans. And everybody knew Bielski.
With these supply droppings came news from the outside world. In February of 1943, the last German forces in Stalingrad surrendered to the Red Army. That fall, the Russians recaptured Smolensk and Kiev.
ואנחנו ידענו, זה עוד יום,